live look at the Red River cam this morning shows the Red River slowly falling still, just under 26 feet now, and a beautiful day on tap. We've finally got some warmer temperatures, highs in the low to mid 60s, and a little bit of sunshine here and there. Good morning. Welcome to InforumTV News. I'm Robin Hubner. Breaking news this morning. The FBI says it believes authorities have thwarted a terror attack in a search of a western Minnesota home. The FBI arrested 24-year-old Buford Rogers after a search of his home in Montevideo turned up Molotov cocktails, suspected pipe bombs, and firearms. The FBI says the search and arrest have potentially saved the lives of several local residents. It says a terror plot was discovered through analysis of intelligence gathered by local, state, and federal authorities. Rogers is currently in federal custody. He was arrested Friday on one count of being a felon in possession of a firearm. The North Dakota legislature took all of its 80 days allowed to create the budget for the next 2 years. In that time, lawmakers passed the largest budget yet, worth $14 billion. They also passed some controversial abortion bills. WDAY 6 reporter Becky Parker talks with House Majority Leader Al Carlson, who was at the center of some of the toughest debates.
80 days after it started, the North Dakota legislature's longest session in history ended with their largest budget yet. It includes $1.1 billion worth of tax relief. The largest chunk of that relief comes from their final act, a property tax and education budget bill that kept them at the Capitol until about 4 a.m.
The property tax relief package is the biggest we've ever sent back from the state.
The state put $657 million into school relief, which will reduce property mills and go directly back to the taxpayers. $200 million more goes to county auditors for individual property tax bills.
When the people see it on their tax statement is when the real proof will happen.
Directly affecting our area, $137 million was approved to create ring dikes and other flood protection in Fargo.
Plus the state made a commitment of up to $450 million over the next 4 bienniums for the diversion if it's approved. So the state's standing there with its money ready to go.
But the session had its share of controversy. 4 anti-abortion bills brought national media coverage as well as criticism from many, saying the bills violate women's rights.
It's a controversial issue. It's an issue that you have to take aside. And I don't think that it violated women's rights at all.
Carlson, who has served 20 years in the state legislature, says he stands by his decisions this session.
I'm not ashamed of the fact that I'm a conservative, that I'm very concerned about how we spend the people's money. It's not my money. And because of that, sometimes you get beat up because you don't say yes to everybody. But in the end, I think people have to look at the end product.
Reporting in Fargo, I'm Becky Parker.
The legislature also passed a new higher education formula. It provides $4 to $5 million more for NDSU and puts restrictions on tuition increases. Governor Jack Dalrymple says it'll go down as the greatest session in North Dakota history. He says many budgets were historic. Dalrymple says the highlight is the property tax relief package they passed, along with reforms lawmakers made in funding education at both the K-12 and higher ed levels. The governor says he's impressed by the huge commitment lawmakers made to improve infrastructure.
Roads and highways, water projects, capital improvements on our college campuses, up to $3 billion if you count everything. Truly figures that a few years ago we would never have imagined that we could see in North Dakota.
Even with all the spending, there's expected to be $87 million left over in the general fund. Some national news, a tragedy out of California. The driver of a limousine that burst into flames, killing 5 women, says he at first misunderstood what one of the passengers was saying about smelling smoke. Orville Brown says with the music in the vehicle up, he initially thought the woman was asking if she could smoke. He said seconds later she knocked on the window again, this time screaming, "Smoke, smoke," and "pull over." The fire broke out late Saturday as the Lincoln Town Car crossed a San Francisco Bay Area bridge. The driver and 4 women were able to get out, but 5 other women inside were trapped, including the bride-to-be, whose upcoming marriage they were celebrating. Authorities in Utah are considering additional charges against a 17-year-old recreational league soccer player now that the referee he's accused of punching has died. Police accuse the teen of punching 46-year-old Ricardo Portillo after he called a foul on the player and issued him a yellow card. Portillo died Saturday after a week in a coma. His family and friends held a candlelight vigil Sunday and called on all soccer players to hold their tempers in check so another family will not have to suffer. A Concordia graduate who gained international attention in 2009 for her arrest and imprisonment in Iran finally got a chance to speak at commencement. Roxana Saberi graduated from Concordia in 1997. She'd been invited to speak at their graduation 4 years ago, but not long before she was imprisoned after being accused of spying while working as a journalist in Iran. To show support for her back then, people wore yellow ribbons to graduation, and Saberi told the 600 graduates yesterday she was very grateful for that support.
If not for the support of the Concordia community, other friends, and even total strangers around the world, I might still be in Evan prison today, instead of here at Concordia, where my adult life began.
Saberi is currently working on a second book, and she's advocating for human rights around the world. Let's check in with WDAY Storm Tracker meteorologist Daryl Richardson now to get our Monday forecast. Daryl?
Hello, everyone. The clouds finally worked their way through Fargo-Moorhead. Still some around, but I do believe the rest of the day in Fargo-Moorhead, a mix of sun and clouds. West and north of Fargo, sunny, and south and east of Fargo-Moorhead, probably some patience, and then you'll get into a mix of sun and clouds as well. High temperatures 60 to 65 Southern Valley, 65 to 70 in the Northern Valley. A little bit more sunshine north will mean a warmer day. Tonight, a clear sky, temperatures dropping down into the low to middle 40s. And my Storm Tracker 7-day forecast tomorrow, a little bit better shot. Somebody might hit 70. Scattered showers Wednesday and Friday. Fridays will be associated with a cold front, and behind that looks much colder again for the weekend. But in the short term, the next several days, fairly mild, fairly average for the time of year. Highs in the 60s through Friday. And today, low to mid 60s Southern Valley, mid to upper 60s in the Northern Valley. Temperature around Fargo-Moorhead expected to top off near 65 and near 67 in Grand Forks.
Thank you, Daryl. Very nice to finally have average temperatures. Check out today's forum for more on Roxana Saberi's commencement speech on Sunday, and also tonight on WDAY 6 News, the latest on when those clay levees in town are going to be torn down. And this is cleanup week. We'll tell you everything you need to know about putting junk out on the boulevard. Thanks so much for joining us for InforumTV News. Have a great day. See you next time.